I've always had a love for on-rail shooters. A staple of arcades throughout the late 80s and into the 90s, these games followed predetermined paths, auto-scrolling players through levels while they focused on precision aiming, dodging, weaving, and quick reactions. It was a perfect fit for arcades, exciting, cinematic, and easy for almost anyone to pick up and play. Games like Afterburner and Space Harrier were my jam. And seriously, if you ever see a Space Harrier machine in the wild, you just gotta hop in. It's an awesome experience like no other. As technology advanced, on-rail shooters began to look better, sound better, and eventually found success on home consoles. One of the genre's biggest milestones was Nintendo's Star Fox, which wowed audiences when it launched in 1993. Powered by the Super FX chip, it somehow brought polygonal graphics to the SNES, something my adolescent brain couldn't comprehend. Sure, it looks a little goofy today, but back then it was absolutely mind-blowing. Almost like someone cast a magic trick on my Super Nintendo or something. Star Fox also introduced a memorable cast of animal pilots, who could forget Peppy, and branching routes that encouraged repeat playthroughs while rewarding exploration. It's a landmark title, which is why it's surprising we haven't seen more indie games try to capture its magic. For my money, Exodiac has been the closest spiritual successor we've seen, though it's spent years in early access and I'm still waiting for it to hit 1.0. Thankfully, Wild Blue Skies has finally arrived with no strings attached, pairing gorgeous visuals with tight arcade-style gameplay fans like me have been craving. But does the rest of the experience stick the landing? Or does it crash and burn? Wild Blue Skies is exactly as advertised, an on-rail shooter featuring excellent airborne gunplay across branching paths and more than 10 unique levels packed with enemies, bosses, secrets, and even arena-style combat sections reminiscent of the all-range mode from the Star Fox series. Players can shoot, with the option to hold the fire button instead of mashing it, thankfully, barrel roll, dodge roll in this game, which allows them to deflect incoming fire with proper timing. They can break, boost, twist, hurl, and detonate bombs. Also, you can lock onto certain targets for an even more powerful blast. But wait, there's more. Your blaster can also be upgraded by collecting power-ups scattered through each level. Though be warned, those upgrades disappear if you take too much damage. Of course, big bad bosses also tend to greet you at the end of each location, offering challenging patterns and obvious weak points while talking mad shit. The game features an overworld map at the start of each run where missions occasionally branch depending on the route you take. For example, in a clear nod to Star Fox, one mission has you fly beneath a series of arches following one of your partners, and successfully pulling this off unlocks what I believe is the more challenging path. It's a fun homage to a classic moment, and thankfully Wild Blue Skies also has the gameplay to back up the nostalgia. The controls are smooth, responsive, and easy to learn while being tough to master. I gotta say though, damn, following Falco was way fucking easier than this guy. Levels are generally quite brief, lasting only a few minutes, but they offer plenty of reasons to come back. There are hidden letters to collect for medals, as well as high scores to chase. In total, players can expect around 12 to 15 hours of gameplay, which I think is excellent value for the genre. One could argue the game would benefit from a few extra modes or maybe even online dogfights, but who knows what the future holds for this title. We do live in the era of updating games after the fact, after all. Like the great arcade games of ye olden times, Wild Blue Skies constantly tempted me into just one more run, an offer I typically accepted as it was rewarding to feel my skills improve with each new attempt.
Whoa! If it isn't...
They'll need to too, because the game is quite challenging, and at the time of this review doesn't offer difficulty options. The free roam battles are especially demanding, with enemy pilots soaking up a surprising amount of damage while you're also dodging swarms of incoming fire and environmental hazards. Much like in Star Fox, I found these open combat sections a little less enjoyable than the tightly scripted on-rail stages. You'll have limited lives on each run too, and can expect to burn most of them on these sections. Run out, and yeah, it's game over, all the way back to the start with you. The story follows Bowie and his ragtag squad of pilots, the Blue Bombers, no relation to Mega Man as far as I know. While the plot is a fairly standard stop-the-bad-guy affair, in this case the villainous Grimclaw, I enjoyed the interactions between the cast, especially during missions where you can tap a button to receive radio calls from them along with other characters.
Are we too late?
Better late than never. Let's clear them out.
Your teammates also find themselves in plenty of trouble, so be prepared to come to their rescue. If they take too much damage, they'll have to recover and sit out at least the next mission. This should all sound a little bit familiar to you in the best of ways. While Wild Blue Skies certainly evokes Star Fox 64, its art style reminds me more of the Wind Waker of all games, crossed with a Dreamcast-era title. Everything has a vibrant, cartoon-inspired look that works wonderfully, with colorful environments and an impressive amount of detail. Each stage feels distinct, bursting with bold colors and a subtle, cel-shaded aesthetic that looks fantastic in motion. From snowy landscapes to fiery caverns, all the familiar sci-fi and fantasy settings are here, but they're presented with enough personality to feel fresh.
Forget Grimclaw. Let's clear these guys out.
Just as importantly, the visuals remain clean and readable, even during the most chaotic firefights, making it easy to track enemies, projectiles, and environmental hazards. Not once did I find myself thinking, damn, this screen is way too cluttered. Thankfully, there's no bullet hell insanity here to overwhelm the senses. You can tell a great deal of care went into the presentation as a whole. The cast features expressive, memorable character designs, and the animated cutscene at the start of gameplay was a real treat, capturing the energy of the great Saturday morning cartoons of my childhood.
Thanks, Bowie. I thought I was done for.
Sound design is equally effective. While I wasn't humming these tracks long after playing, the orchestral soundtrack fits the action very well, bringing plenty of energy and excitement to each mission with strings and marching drums. Your ears will spend most of their time enjoying explosive sound effects and the wonderfully voiced quips from your squad mates.
I can't see past my nose.
All in all, Wild Blue Skies looks and sounds exactly like an arcade game should. On my PC, equipped with a 4070, Wild Blue Skies ran smoothly at very high frame rates. I didn't encounter any major bugs or glitches, aside from some minor clipping when flying too close to the ground.
And stay down.
Performance on Steam Deck was unfortunately bogged down a bit to 30 FPS, but was otherwise playable and looked pretty nice on Valve's handheld. There aren't many graphical options available, so players shouldn't expect a robust settings menu, but thankfully the game doesn't really need one. Wild Blue Skies reminded me why I fell in love with this genre all those years ago. It looks great, plays incredibly well, sounds fantastic, and offers plenty of reasons to keep coming back. I greatly enjoyed this world, its characters, and the sense of progression, even if the free roam sections occasionally felt like a step down from the expertly crafted on-rails missions. Could the difficulty use some tuning? Perhaps. Could the game benefit from a few additional modes? Absolutely. Could my ship have maybe done a few more stunts and flips in the air? Yeah, I suppose so. However, those minor shortcomings don't change the fact that Wild Blue Skies is an absolute blast to play. It really captures the excitement, the charm, and replayability of classic arcade shooters while delivering a fresh experience of its own. If you grew up pumping quarters into on-rail shooters or chasing high scores at home, you owe it to yourself to take to the skies with this one. I am awarding Wild Blue Skies the coveted Golden Genie Lamp of Approval. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to help us continue to be able to bring a voice to the voiceless. Join the over 60,000 indie warriors that have said goodbye to the gaming echo chamber. For even more support, head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, where you can get Discord access, early shows, exclusive content, and more, now with a brand new $2 entry tier. Or check out YouTube memberships for exclusive badges, custom emoji, and other fun perks. Support real people making real things, because here at I Dream of Indie Games, it's always about the games.